Okay, canals. Canals, remember, it was an artificial waterway. Because steamboats were so large, they were only limited to major rivers. Okay, so they were only limited to rivers like the Ohio River, the Mississippi River, things like that. This caused a problem because no such river linked the east to the west. Okay, so the people in Ohio were not getting the same goods that people in New York and people to the east were getting. Okay, so that created a problem for people in the west. So a plan was developed to connect New York to the Great Lakes region. This would be known as the Erie Canal. This is the famous first canal that was ever built in the United States. Okay, this canal was 363 miles, and it would take 8 years to complete. Now, when they were digging this canal, yes, they were men that were digging this canal for 8 years. Okay, it's kind of like if you've ever seen the movie Holes. That's what they were doing for 8 years. They were basically digging a giant hole, okay, a giant road or waterway. Okay, there were multiple deaths during this time because of cave-ins and things like that. To make it easier, when they were building the canals, they would use explosives to kind of blow up where they wanted to, so they didn't have to dig so much. And a lot of people would get caught in there, and they would basically blow up. Okay, it was not pleasant. So, like I just said, Lake Erie. The Erie Canal was the first one that was ever built. At first, the Erie Canal did not allow steamboats because their powerful engines could damage the canal's banks because it wasn't a natural formed waterway, because it was man-made. The banks weren't going to be as sturdy, as strong as natural waterways like rivers. So instead of having steamboats at first, they used a two-horse team that hauled boats and barges. In one day, those horse teams could pull a 100-ton barge about 24 miles in one day. Okay, this was fast. This was fast compared to wagons. Okay, so you had two horses that would haul 100-ton barge all day. Okay, 24 miles. However, okay, in the 1840s, workers strengthened the canals so that steam tugboats could pull the barges through canals. Okay, so not having horses anymore, they started to use now machines again. Because of the construction of the Erie Canal was the first one ever, this allowed a new form of transportation to happen in the United States. After the Erie Canal was built, the country built more than 3,600 miles of canals throughout the country. Okay, so it all started with the Erie Canal that was connecting New York to the Great Lakes. Now there is a picture of some of the canals. So let's see here. Oops. So right here, moving all along here, that is going to be the Erie Canal. So it's going to start in New York, and it goes all the way to the Great Lakes region. Okay, so all of these little blue dots, blue lines, these are all canals that were built, handmade. Okay. All right, railroads. Baltimore was the third largest city in the nation in 1827, but it had not invested in a canal. So there was no way for them to trade with people in the West like Ohio. Yet, okay, Baltimore was 200 miles closer to the frontier meaning the West, okay, than New York. And it soon recognized that the development of the railway could make the city more competitive with New York. Okay, so New